Hi again, this is Randy Roth here, coming at you with removing speculation from eschatology. Today I want to talk to you about Daniel's 70th week. If you're ever on the streets witnessing to a Jew, you come across them telling you, "Look, I'm a Jew," as if that has nothing to do with Christ. Most of them have no idea that Jesus was a Jew. One of the chapters that's forbidden to them is Isaiah 58. And if you ever read it to them, they'll think, oh, well, that's not in my Bible. So what you need to do is have them read it in their Bible, and it's a major wake-up call. Another scripture is Daniel 9:26 and 27, which tells us about Messiah the Prince. And they all are looking for the Messiah, but they also understand another thing, and that is that the sacrifices and offerings have come to an end. These sacrifices and offerings came to an end in 70 AD when Titus came in and destroyed the temple with his great army. When the Jews read this scripture, Daniel 9:26 and 27, which is about Daniel's 70th week, they realize that their Messiah had to come before the second temple was destroyed and the sacrifices and offerings were destroyed. They understand that Titus brought his army in there, and that happened in the middle of a 7-year war. Titus went and made a covenant with the Roman Senate to bring an end to the Jewish uprising. This is known as either the Jewish uprising or the Roman Jewish War. It started in 66 AD, and Titus and his father set out to squelch this Jewish uprising. Along the way, Vespasian, Titus' father, found out that there was a bunch of turmoil back in Rome, so he took half the army, went back to Rome, and became emperor of Rome, making Titus the prince. Okay, so Titus the prince now has half the army, and he's coming against Jerusalem and breaks through the wall of Jerusalem like a flood. He flows in, and the temple is destroyed. Not one stone is left upon another as a result of it, because it's burnt. All the tapestries inside are burnt. The gold melts in between the stones, and as a result, the gold seekers remove every stone so that they can get to the gold, and not one stone is left upon another. Okay, so that happened in 70 AD, but the Jewish uprising did not end until the fall of Masada 3.5 years later, making this 1-week period a 7-year period, and in the middle of it, the sacrifices and offerings end. This passage of Scripture is so clear, so precise, and history shows it fulfilled very precisely. However, today, there is a doctrine out there that has been derived by one man's singular interpretation of this Scripture that brings about a futuristic Daniel 70th week period of time. And as a result, there's several speculations on this scripture that say, hey, look, the Antichrist will make a futuristic treaty with many, whoever that might be, and the temple will be rebuilt. Then the temple will have to be destroyed, and the sacrifices will be reinstated, and then they'll have to be taken away. And then, as a result, the time of Jacob's trouble, the Jews will have to be scattered again to the nations, and then they will have to be gathered again. All of this has already occurred when the temple was destroyed the first time. And there isn't any scripture to support that. This is a singular interpretation of Scripture that doesn't have any support from any other Scripture to reinstate this speculation that is built from one man's interpretation. 1 Peter 1:20 tells us that no scripture has a singular interpretation. However, this doctrine is widely received, and as a result, there is the pre-trib rapture doctrine, and we have the pre-rapture doctrine. Both doctrines are built upon this one man's singular interpretation of Scripture. We need to be careful that we take heed that no man deceive us concerning eschatology. Both Jesus and Paul give us this stiff warning. It's Matthew 24, verse 4, and 2 Thessalonians 2:2, where Paul gives the same exact warning. Alright, I hope that you can heed my words and study the Scripture for yourself, because there is absolutely no Scripture to back this doctrine that is built upon this one man's interpretation of Scripture. Alright, take care. Thank you.